oftentimes you see guys as good as that kid. Like he was a starter at Immaculata. He went over to Joe's to compete against Monty Caccruti at the time. And then Lamar Best comes in, right? South Jersey, all Mr. Everything. And he stayed and he competed. And then Lamar gets the ball. And, you know, Mason Geist would get minutes whenever he can or whatever. And then, you know, unfortunately, Lamar goes down at what's turned into the toughest part of the season, right? This guy now has to come in and you have to bring your team back to beat Pope John. You know, I'm not acting like that's a big feat or anything, but for a new guy, now we're going to see your medal. And then now you got Bergen coming up next week. And then after that, you got DePaul coming up after that. And then you have playoffs. What I want to speak about in that sense is that you get a lot of kids that pack it up. They'll leave. They'll quit or whatever. And football is a physical game. You never know. You're one situation away from being thrown into it, you know. Sure. And it's just like, you know, the guy, he sat, you know, he didn't make a big stink about nothing. He supported his teammate. And now it's on him. And I believe strongly if Lamar does not play, Lamar will be on that sideline. True. Lamar will be coaching him up every time he comes off, telling him what he sees and things such as that. But now, young man, is your opportunity. Me and Nas try to buy you all the time in the world.
Y'all gave me the time that I needed. I realized what I got to do. And that is, no matter what happening, wherever they put whoever, I got to hedge my bet. And so since I got to hedge my bet, I'm going with Bergen. If I go with Bergen, I either come up.
When your mama don't believe, that's
it is what it is. Listen, Joes, y'all got to do what y'all got to do.
You got to go out like that. You need to know that's bulletin board material in every locker room.
And if you feel any way, please charge it to my brain and not my heart.
Of course, everyone wants that Notre Dame job. Everyone wants to be on NBC in prime time every week of guaranteed games.
Even when you make decisions going into your high school or transferring from your high school, those are big decisions that will affect the rest of your life.
This episode is brought to you by Keep It a Buck Clothing. Stay true to yourself and what you wear, and keep it a buck.
She let me squeeze and she leave cause she keep a pee. Private suite, privacy, done pushing P. Purple paint, pink, pushing P. Pushing P, I'm pushing P. Pushing P, I'm pushing P. Yeah. Pushing P, I'm pushing P. Pushing P, I'm pushing P. Yeah. I pop a P, I'm paranoid. I can't sleep, my pockets deep. Got rest on me, why they watching me? I'm pushing P. I'm pushing P, pushing P, I'm pushing P.
We're back, baby.
We're back, man. This is my favorite part of the season. This thing is about to start getting short.
Yep.
We got about 2 weeks left until playoffs. You know, my playoff thing be like the Hunger Game as we just watch them drop off, whatever. But around this time, what we starting to realize now is who's who and what's what. Because everybody is into the meat of their schedule, you know. So before we get into the privates, we're going to have Nas kick it off with the public action this week.
Yo, man, Central was going for the division title, I believe. Took a big one, took a big loss to Cedar Grove is on fire.
Yo, they tell me like that whole corridor is like death row. It's like Cedar Grove, Verona, like Caldwell. They call that death row. That whole row.
I gotta give them that. Shout out to.
What's the youth football like that? Because that's town. Are they all on the same town football?
No, they own town teams. They must play against each other since little kids or whatever.
Yeah, because they got good systems over there, man.
Right. Shout out to those guys up there on death row, what you call it. Weekway took a tough loss to Snyder. That was a tough one. I seen a little bit of that game.
Yo, I'm telling you, Soul Bowl should be canceled.
It's not going to be
Canceled the
canceled.
Soul
I
Bowl.
know what
It
you're
can't
doing.
happen.
You gassed it.
I'm just saying, I canceled it.
Yo,
Like,
last year, week way, I think they beat they lost to somebody. Shabazz boat raced them. Still got boat race. So I'm not even going.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that.
it's
I'm here
it's-
for no, but I figured it out too. I see it. It's either two things could be happening. Weekway lose early and able to prepare well for Shabazz, and then Shabazz be preparing to win a whole state championship, not just a sectional, but the whole state championship, and then they don't have that much time to actually prepare. That could be it. I don't know, but I'm never slacking on Weekway. You know what I'm saying? I know how Weekway come. They well coached, but they might be just taking little bumps right
So
now.
I got to ask you the $1 million question,
Go
then.
ahead.
Being from Newark, what matters more, the Soul Bowl or the championship? Don't give me all that
So I'm
talk.
gonna let y'all know. Like I told Coach Oliver, like it's weird because I don't even talk like that. For me, it's nationals or nothing. I care about local football. No disrespect.
I feel you
But
on that
I
one.
had to come back to Oliver. Like, look, yo, the way I felt at the Thanksgiving game. Listen, for me, it seems like the school don't care nothing about a state title, right? We want to win state chips. I get it. But we better win the Soul Bowl. That's all that matters. So now it's more of that. Now you're getting, okay, now we understand what the Soul Bowl means to not only to the school, but to the community and everybody else. Because years ago, the Soul Bowl was just the city championship. So like the older alumni, they like, man, you lost the city championship. Yeah, you the state champions, but you not the city champs. City champs is week way. We got to win the city championship. So now we got to win the city. City championship now is up there with the state championship.
So
Okay.
question. Back in the day, was it like all of the city schools played each
That's
other
it.
and then the championship was the Soul Bowl?
I guess that was whoever won, whatever it is, they city.
Because Philly's like that
So that's what they do.
in college.
Central, all of them used to play each other, and then they have a city championship.
That's dope.
So, but yeah, DJ McClary went crazy. He was a beast. You know what I'm saying? I be wanting to, no funniness, but I want to see why Weekway don't approach those other games like they approach Shabazz games.
You just said it. You
I
just
guess
said it.
In their defense, last year they were doing really well before they
Yeah,
got
the
to
50s,
they was doing
donuts.
pretty good last
They was
year.
smoking
So
everybody.
this year and whatever's going on this year may be a fluke or just what they got this year.
Yeah, every now and then.
So the thing is, though,
graduated last year.
Now the thing is,
I mean, but
that
y'all went
y'all gotta
3-0.
go against the Soul Bowl. They can't come beat y'all.
No.
That can't happen now.
Ever again. I think
Is that game in a neutral site?
it's at Shabazz this year.
Okay.
It's each
So
year
you
it
can't,
goes
like,
both ways.
You could lose your job over losing 2 Soul Bowls. Look, my principal only give you 2 Soul Bowls to lose.
Oh, God.
Now we up for the year 2. But off to the next one. West Orange was a big game. That was a huge game. It was actually East Orange homecoming, and they scheduled West Orange on that. East Orange took a tough loss to West Orange 7-0. I see somebody called them Least Orange. I was like, well, they wilding with this. But big shout out to Coach Grant for getting the job done.
Also, man, I want to wish Charlie Lamorte get well soon. Don't know what, the final verdict is going to be on him. This week was a rough week in terms of injuries from a couple of schools with a couple of big guys. But, get well soon for Charlie Lamorte, quarterback of West Orange.
No doubt. Big shout out to Union City and Wolverine. Okay.
Yeah, I heard Ion Gaynor showed out
He just
for West Orange, man. I want to shout him out, too.
He's
Yeah.
a beast, man. He can do it all. Quarterback. He was a quarterback when he was a kid. Wide receiver, safety, running back. Like, the kid is special. Somebody need to open their eyes up and pay close attention.
Real
to this
defensive
kid.
game. Shout out to both defenses. It just sucks. Somebody got to win that.
Yeah.
But Will Valdez is just...
Yeah, they rolling.
Nah, put your life jacket on. It's a boat race every
Yeah,
weekend coming out.
I said Union City hasn't looked back since the loss to St. Peter's.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, but I heard they stopped the game against Orange in the third quarter. It got like 70.
It was definitely a football score.
And then this week they came back and put up the big 50 on Irvington.
Damn, Irvington, bro.
Yeah, I
said
mean,
they
they knocked off
got
PCTI, so Irvington doing something.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, last
wasn't
week.
it last week.
Oh,
Knocked
yeah,
him off, yeah. Montclair was big over Barringer. Who else? Oh, here we go. Malcolm X Shabazz. So for me to y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know, I don't believe nothing that Shabazz is doing right now. I'm being honest. They gotta prove, right? What we're talking about. So the games that they did lose, they were supposed to win. Those was the game. They should be 8-0, right? They should be 8-0, undefeated. There's no reason Immaculata beat them. There's no reason Caldwell beat them. I wasn't even here to speak on that. I felt like when these type of teams come down and play them, they just get out coached. I'm just gonna be 100. There's nobody that had better athletes.
I would agree. Immaculata, I've noticed a trend with them. I think they just won it more than everybody. They are winning games every week
Snyder
by
knocked them
2 and
off.
3 points.
Snyder knocked them off.
Snyder?
Snyder knocked them off last week. I couldn't get here to talk about it, but Snyder knocked them off.
Wow. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So there's no reason why Shabazz should be losing to these guys. But big shout out to the guys, Davion Porter, Jalen Klein, Speedy, Amari Gaines. I'm happy for my guy Ian Adrian. Big time touchdown catch. He had a big block. He's just doing all the little things to help his team win. Quarterback Romello Tables. And then I definitely got to give a big shout out to Zayden McDonald picking up that
Ohio State. I
man.
saw that
Shout
come
out
across
to
the
you.
timeline, man. Like Ohio State understands. When I say they understand, like every year they make sure they come in here and get something, or attempt to get something. But they usually get whatever they want, and they usually get them dogs, man, and they get it. A lot of these kids go to other schools, and it's like they don't really understand. Like, in my opinion, Penn State don't use our kids the way Ohio State use our kids.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like
especially in certain like those positions, like the DB stuff.
Yeah.
You like what? You gotta really think about that. And how coach come in and talk about that. That was like, look, man. So what you gonna do, coach? Nah, we coming for him. I'm like, oh wow, like no, we love him. We love him. He's long. He's athletic. He does this, that, and the third. And that's what get me more upset why we lose to these kind of teams when we have this type of talent. But hopefully, right now I know that they're in playoff mode, but I have to remove myself from that, from being that close with them to watching them from afar. So if I was a parent, I wanted to send my son there, I'd be like, man, look, they got to clean up this. They losing to these type of teams. How? If they supposed to be the next public powerhouse,
I'm with that.
right? You got to show me more to really believe that we are on track to being a public powerhouse. Public powerhouses don't lose to those kind of clubs. And no knock on none of y'all. You guys are good, but the Shabazz team
It's levels.
Yeah.
It's levels. Like, and they're really great programs and teams, right? They, like I said, when we talked about the Murderous Row, like, what's their youth program? Like, I asked that because I'm sure they run it the same thing all the way through.
Right.
And then, you guys Shabazz comes through, and your system starts in high school.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
True.
But you still should be able to overcome the difference with the big time recruits. You got a lot of big time kids over there at Shabazz, and just off of just that alone, I think that would be enough. But obviously it's not. So, like you said, got to keep building.
I want to see you guys, continue this, but like who said, you got to beat the guys like the weak ways. You gotta the Ronas. You gotta beat those kind of guys. You can't play around with them.
Yeah.
Rona just coming off a loss. They got Rona next week. Believe it or not, we got mine. So I don't. But he went back home to see the what's that?
Cedar Grove.
No, not Cedar Grove.
Who's he? We talking about?
Maj. What school he came from?
Oh,
Last year.
Maj was at. He was at.
The red and white team. By Montclair.
Yeah.
Glenridge. Glenridge. Sorry, Glenridge. And Glenridge knocked him off. Glenridge knocked him off.
We'll take your leftovers.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
now I know they're gonna be a little bit up for the Shabazz thing, but I just need to see how Shabazz gonna bounce back against.
It's very well possible they could have been looking past Glenridge to Shabazz because, again, everybody wants to show out against those kids at that caliber. You got Stanford, you got a kid with Ohio State offer. Regardless to what anybody wanted to say, those in the know Speedy is one of the best backs in the state. Right. These things like, Sahaj, the gentleman you talked about that you really liked from Shabazz.
Oh, Davion Porter.
The Davion Porter, Samir Wilkins, they
so
loaded.
These are the things, like I know Maj is like, these are the guys you want to do it against, right? When they probably overlooked little old Glen Ridge.
Yeah.
Jumped up and bit him, so like something, you know.
But that was it for our.
I got some.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And while we talking about Publix, I'm going to keep following this Publix because a lot like Shabazz, they new to the scene and they building and they tearing stuff up in South Jersey. Winslow won this week. Winslow is number 3 in the state. They beat number 18 Mainland. They beat them 47-24. Jalen Parker, the quarterback, continues to just go crazy. He was 14 to 28, 315 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Now, Kier Helton led the team in no, he didn't lead the team in receptions. Had a big game, though. 4 receptions for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cam Miller, the Wisconsin commit, had 5 receptions, 116 yards, and 1 touchdown. Robert Karstafen had 1 sack, and Ben Carter led the team with 11 solo tackles. Marcus Upton also had a 1 interception for Winslow. So Winslow's just killing in all phases of the game. Millville beat Cherokee 57-14. Rumson Fairhaven continues to just do it to Cats, right? Rumson Fairhaven beat Donovan Catholic 56-32. Owen O'Toole, the quarterback, he was 26 of 31, so he only missed on 5 passes, 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nick Thomas was 8 carries for 106 yards and 1 touchdown. Austin Kiernan had 1 sack. For Donovan Catholic, Michael Thomas, stayed loyal, stayed there, stayed true, pretty much has to do what he got to do over there. I don't want to say he's everything, but he's a big part of what they do. Michael Thomas had 15 carries for 280 yards rushing. 15 carries, 280 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And they lost?
And he even threw for a passing touchdown.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. St. Aug's, lost again, man. St. Aug's lost to Reconcos Valley, 20-14. I just hope when it comes time for the seeding, we don't have to see the St. Aug's up at number, up in the top. We can't do that. They shouldn't even be number 14, honestly, if we're keeping it all the way real. But yeah, that's what I got for the Publix.
Okay.
All right. Did you have anything else for the Publix?
Nah, I just wanted to say big shout out to Jalen Berger making your return home. That was major, man.
I watched that game a little bit. I tuned into that game.
Okay.
Kaj Sanders got the start for this game too. So that was pretty
great.
big.
Shout out to you,
Salute to
Kaj.
those guys.
Absolutely. It's so nice watching, being able to turn on the TV on Saturday. You get home from the high school game and you see the guys, them, you've seen them in person. Even for the younger ones, right? They watch them, they can see them, they see it, it's real. I hope that they watch and this gives them a little more hunger for when you get back to school on Monday and you finish, do what you got to do in the classroom and then get in that locker room and get in the weight room and get on the field and do what you have to do.
Yep.
All right, so moving right along, let's start. The first game was Thursday, and even though it was a huge game, let's start there. It's Zone6ix Classic, DePaul versus St. Peter's Prep. DePaul pulled it out. Well, DePaul blew them out. Wait, not pulled it out. They blew them out. But sorry, guys, 54-21.
Yo, but first off, big shout out to all the Prep family. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Can I jump in right there?
Yeah.
That was my first time going around, the Prep family. You ain't win, but you damn sure know how to party. The barbecue was popping, you know what I'm saying?
The walking tacos.
Yeah, the walking tacos, the smoked turkey wings.
The barbecue was fire. Yo, the dude, shout out to my man with the pit. He had the 2.
Yes, sir.
The chicken and the lamb and y'all won me. Y'all won my heart.
That sure made me a fan. I ain't gonna even hold you in.
See, you know what they say? A way to a man's heart is the stomach. Yeah. So,
but in the beginning of that game, it was rocking. I thought Prep was coming to make a statement, dog.
It was 12 minutes in, 8-0. What?
I think DePaul rolled out of bed a little slow, right? Because Prep jumped right on them. Mm-hmm. Then Prep also got the onside kick and was looking to be marching. Offense was clicking. Tyler Bell was doing his thing. Andres Perez.
Even the running back started doing this thing too.
Yeah, and to me, they didn't go with that enough in the first half because DePaul went 3 down linemen and it was there. But I guess when you're a big, high octane offense, a lot of those guys they're not patient. You know what I'm saying? And the way I look at that is kind of like, it's like you got to let the medicine work. You got to let the medicine work. Like, I'm not trying to get into a gunfight with DePaul. I'm just not trying to go back and forth with you like that. We up 8-0. We got the ball. Let's start eating some of this clock. Let's shut down their possessions, because our defense just hasn't really been reliable thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. Derek Zammit, 9 of 12 for 110 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Another running back.
Basically, because that's what I'm going to say. He had 4 carries for 95 yards, and that's as a quarterback.
Then they had another kid, number 12, whoever that kid is, the backup quarterback. He's really good, too.
Yeah, they ready to go. Yeah, they ready to go. There's another James on that, Mason James.
He scored also. He had 1 reception for 33, but he did score a touchdown. Nolan James, 14 carries for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. Listen, Elijah Burris had 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. The yards don't matter. He touched the ball twice, and he scored twice.
Yeah, so he was so business-like. I was on their sidelines for the time, and like I said, they started out slow, but once they got rolling, like I'm on their side, I'm looking in Nolan James' eyes, locked in. Burris his attitude wasn't even like it was serious business. It was like, we just come to put belt to ass. If I'm being honest, like you could just see the way he walk on the sideline, like he come off after the touchdown, like, I got a lot of more for you, as Mr. T said in Rocky. I got a lot of more for you,
Yeah, Anthony Natoli, 10 tackles.
Ooh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I came here just for you.
Listen.
Lil Natoli is a dog.
He is absolutely.
All my respect.
Absolutely.
Kid is a beast out there.
Yeah, you got to watch out for him.
Yeah, I watched him as well, and it just stays true to everything else. Like I always said, like, when you outside and you get into a little confrontation, watch the little guy. Right. The little one's the one that do all the damage, because they ain't come to play. They got to prove everything. You know what I'm saying? So they real extra dangerous. And that's what I'm watching. Like everybody looking around at DePaul. Shout out to the old line. Held up. Word. Crazy. Mr. McKenzie, thanks for this. He gave me the DePaul bucket hat to go wear over there at St. Peter's sideline. Right. So I got the bucket hat. I'm about to go over to St. Peter's sideline, and then they cooking real good. So I had to take it off and tuck that away, because DePaul ain't feed me. That hat can't feed me.
It was a bunch of St. Peter's guys wearing green, too. My man wearing the green jacket. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But I want to give a shout out to Zone6ix, man. It was a beautiful atmosphere. The fireworks. It was very family friendly.
Yes.
A lot of police presence. Yes. It's definitely a type of situation where all the kids was welcome. All the different youth programs was there. The Wayne recreational. DePaul got something going on, right? So they got the Wayne little rec football team. But I'm looking at some nice sized kids over there. And I think that's just them. Nobody else really goes to tap into that. Other high schools, y'all might want to go try to sniff around over there. But the Black Knights was over there. Brick City was over there. All of the kids had access to the sidelines.
The Black Knights.
Dark Knights.
Yeah. But yeah, Bergen called for sunny days or whatever. But those kids look good as well. Ohio State was in the building. That's when I knew Dez was about to go crazy eventually. Sean, you're supposed to have that scoop and score, man. But I guess you just wanted to make sure y'all got possession of the ball. But yeah, it was a really good event.
Wembley definitely. The details of the game, like
the giveaways, you know what I'm saying? The carnival.
Oh, yeah, and the marching band from Shabazz was there. Yeah, nice. That's amazing. Shout out to the town for allowing all of that. A lot of towns get really funny. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You got to, because he bringing all that excitement back to the town. And that's what I be trying to bring to Newark. Like, I want to be able to people to see. We have beautiful facilities and fields, and people could come in and see things like this, right? Yeah. But shout out to you, shout out to Patterson, y'all getting it done.
Shout out to you, Justin, and everybody else at Zone6ix.
Shout out to DePaul O-line, man. Keep grinding, bro.
Marlon Bright.
Keep grinding. That's a bunch of them boys. They
Marlon Bright
furniture.
I pay attention to him. He a father, dog. They were just mauling people up out of there. Get him out of here,
man. So then let's go to Bosco and let's go to PC RBC.
You did get me down on the books when I changed mine back.
No, because I made
You're not allowed to tell me what I can't do.
I made sure you could run it back to last week.
Okay,
I said, "Are you staying with us?"
PC.
And he said,
she goes,
"Yeah."
I said, "Nah." So Justin said something. I'm like, you know what? Justin and Hunter said something. I said, "No, you're right. RBC." She go, "No, you got to stay with PC."
Right. I did. But hold on. After I said, "You staying with PC, right?" And he was like, "I'm staying." It's on the clip. Run it back, and then you know what I mean. Have it there. I'm going Red Bank Catholic because you went PC, and so I got to get back.
Don't hurt yourself trying to keep up with me.
It's all right. We gotta. I'm going with getting back into the tie with you, and so I'm going Red Bank Catholic.
Yeah. All right.
So we back tied. It's okay. This is what you do.
I now see y'all for who y'all are. There's no more like good faith voting and all that.
Look, it is what it is.
It's this bad business, man. Like, I mean, it was disgusting. It was disgusting, right? You know, because although I thought I'd double back to RBC, like I said, that's where my mind was at, but my heart was with PC.
Right.
And it's just like they just went and laid down.
Like
You can tell like they just laid down. Like it meant more to RBC. And then y'all got Bosco coming. I just say hand it in. Just hand in all equipment. Just turn it in.
So that score was 42-14. I don't think we need to really go into details of that.
I don't even want to do I got kids there, so I don't even want to.
We're going to leave that alone?
Yeah.
Okay. So then moving right along, we're going to go over to Bosco and Seton Hall Prep. That was 28-0. So Jack Gilmore had 7 of 15 for 100. Of course, Bosco won. Sisler, welcome back. Like 19 of 29 for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. He said, "I am back."
Yeah, it's like okay. You know, the accident might have just like, you know, it's like you heard when you get struck by lightning, they good at math and shit like that. Like, he didn't got up and his numbers is going off.
You know what's crazy that though, when you take something away from somebody or slowly or may feel like you might have lost it, it brings a different fire in you.
I never considered
and that could be it, right?
He might have been done for the season.
Right. He understood that this could have been it. And if that was it, what was, people only remember your last impression that you left on them. You know what I mean? So now
he's about to make a run, dog.
Yeah, it looks good. Dante DeLuca, I'll get some. Dante DeLuca, 20 carries for 102 yards. He's another one.
Oh, he a dog.
Yeah,
that's the running back, 33. Right?
2 touchdowns. Sorry, I don't want to leave that out. Zakai Murphy had 4 receptions for 53 yards. Rennick, which is stretch, he scored. He had 2 for 17, but he scored. And Isaiah Alvarez, 6 for 66 yards and 1 touchdown.
The young boy, Phoenix, right? Phoenix starting as a freshman DB in the Big North, that we call it the Big North, right? Ain't give up a touchdown all year.
What?
22 yards total. No one scored on him this year. He only gave up 22 yards total.
What's his last name? I know it's Evans. Okay. Well, shout out to you. I don't know if we welcomed you to the party or not. We've talked about you, but welcome to the party, Phoenix Evans.
He's dancing. He's standing on the couch. Yeah. He got the ace of spades with him.
Absolutely. So, then moving right along to, want to go St. Joe's and Pope John. So St. Joe's versus Pope John was at Pope John. The score ended up being 41-14.
Before we get started,
look like how the game was a little bit.
Before we get started, I just want to give Lamar best well wishes. I don't know if we saw the last of him or not, but if we have, I just want to say he was on his way to a historical season. He went through the whole season up until that point, hadn't thrown 1 interception. You know, and Joe's passes 70 to 80% of the time. So, you know, you get some people that don't throw interceptions, but you barely throw the ball. Like, he throws the ball a lot, you know. So, I don't, you know, again, I had nothing confirmed. I don't know, haven't spoken to his people. Saw the injury, and this is what I'm speculating from what I saw. I speculated Sisler may not be back for the rest of the year, and he came back. I don't know if we'll see Lamar Best. I didn't get any information on that, but he definitely got hurt, and I wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
But let's get into what y'all saw.
We're wishing you well, Lamar Best. And then right after, Mason Geis came in. Mason Geis.
So what was the score when Geis came in?
When Geis came in, I believe it was 7-6.
Yeah, Del Barton. I mean, Pope John was leading.
Yeah, 7-6.
So yeah, because I seen
Yeah.
Lamar scored, and when he scored, you seen his arm hanging. You know,
Right.
And after
So it
that,
could
I
have
just didn't see anything.
been, sorry,
anymore.
13-7. Because his score would have made it 13. They had 7.
Who scored
Who
the
scored
first
right
one? That was
before?
him. He was the first touchdown.
Was he was the first one?
Yeah, it was first quarter he went
Okay.
out. Yeah, I believe so. First quarter he went out.
I don't remember if it was him or not. But either way, 7-6. And then Mason Geist comes in 8 of 11 for 201 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He could play too, though.
Welcome to the party, Mason. Now, we've spoke about you before, but those numbers are
That's
amazing.
16, right? Number 16.
Yeah,
Yes.
quarterback. I was sorry. And that's the part I want to speak on as well. Oftentimes you see guys as good as that kid. Like he was a starter at Immaculata. He went over to Joe's to compete against Monty C.L.T.A at the time. And then Lamar Best comes in, right? South Jersey, all Mr. Everything. And he stayed and he competed. And then Lamar gets the ball. And, you know, Mason Geist would get minutes whenever he can or whatever. And then, you know, unfortunately, Lamar goes down at what's turned into the toughest part of the season, right? This guy now has to come in and you have to bring your team back to beat Pope John. You know, I'm not acting like that's a big feat or anything, but for a new guy, now we're going to see your medal. And then now you got Bergen coming up next week. And then after that, you got DePaul coming up after that. And then you have playoffs. What I want to speak about in that sense is that you get a lot of kids that pack it up. They'll leave. They'll quit or whatever. And football is a physical game. You never know. You're one situation away from being thrown into it, you know. Sure. And it's just like, you know, the guy, he sat, you know, he didn't make a big stink about nothing. He supported his teammate. And now it's on him. And I believe strongly if Lamar does not play, Lamar will be on that sideline. Sure. Lamar will be coaching him up every time he comes off, telling him what he sees and things such as that. But now, young man, is your opportunity. You got the best of the best coming in this week. You know what I'm saying? And you got an opportunity to show why you why you came to the big stage, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, these are storylines that, unfortunately, it sucks. But what they say is there's an opportunity. There's always a silver lining in that. It's an opportunity for this kid. And, you know, I just hate that we didn't get to see Lamar Best versus Derek Zammit, who I feel those are the two best quarterbacks in North Jersey.
Well, we don't know. Well, we'll see what could happen. We do before we want to shout out to Nate Bailey. We do it all the time, but I have to listen. 7 carries for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Listen.
So Nate is he's the Debo Samuels of high school football, right? This is this new athlete they want, right? He can line up in the slot, he can line up at running back, he can line up at kick return, and be highly effective at all of these positions. And, you know, I sat here last year and took a little slack when I said, like, Nate was pretty much unguardable. And people question that, and it's like, okay, well, now we're seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like, he does it from wherever,
Nate
you know.
Nate a father, dog.
Yeah, same. And he
but
said
he's a good kid too. That's most important.
Absolutely, absolutely, so humble. And he said it. He said, "Listen, you can do whatever with me, but I got guys." And the guy scored also. So there you go. So
shout out to JoJo, number 1.
JoJo 4 receptions for 78 yards for 1 touchdown.
The Razi.
Makai Rosenall, 1 reception for 95 yards for 1 touchdown. I did not like
the announcers pronounced his name. I'm like, yo, it's Makai. He said Mullico.
they jack it up every time. I think Bosco said Mickey. It just be crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to the Razi. That was like a 90-yard girl, like a
95 yards.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody there. Get well, Lamar.
Good well, Best.
And then we're moving right along to Bergen versus Del Barton. Now let's talk about that. That was the game of the week.
Yeah, that's what Bergen do though. They show up.
Yeah, so before you even get into the stats, I just want to talk about what I observed from Bergen. My advice to all teams is jump on them and jump on them good before halftime because their third quarters is unlike anybody else's in this state.
Absolutely.
Time after time, when they come out in the third quarter, it's BTA. Y'all know what that means. It's BTA. So if you just in striking distance of them, they probably gonna pull off on you. But what I noticed during this game is Del Barton had their opportunities, and I remember I got called to task from one of my guys I speak to. He said, and it happens to be a Bergen guy, and he said, I notice whenever you talk about Del Barton, you always use words like smart, disciplined, well coached, and I think it's stereotypical that you do that. So I step back and I look, and they did make a lot of mistakes. They did have penalties, and there was times they were undisciplined. And I'm looking and I'm like, he's probably laughing at me right now because of course it happens against Bergen. And it's like, I think they tried to overcoach it in certain situations, right? But more than anything, their own line was having a hell of a game first half. And what I noticed is Bergen has waves. I'm talking about freshmen, Jackson Vaughn, guys that you see coming making plays, sophomores. I'm listening to the Wilson kid. Obviously, Delaney Flood, he on 10 all the time. The Benjamin Carey kid, killer. But those are just some guys. But they have other guys that they just kept coming. And what you started to realize after the third quarter, they were living in Del Barton's backfield. And I'm like, oh, this line they're done. They're tired. They're too tired to go against Bergen's first string, even if Bergen's first string didn't have guys. But these waves, and that might be what it is for every team.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a halftime reload. Like, Bergen Catholic goes in the locker room, because halftime, it wasn't maybe one score away. It was like 7.
No, I thought it was like
7-10.
7-6.
Was it 7-6?
Two field goals.
Oh, yes, 7-6. 2 field goals at halftime. Okay, that's doable, right? You can't do that against Bergen at halftime. You have to be up at least 2 scores at halftime, because Bergen's going to come out. You see the score, 14-13? Like, they going to come out. That means they scored one more time, and Bergen just went up there and just scored a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. But one thing about you mentioned all those young guys, right? And one thing that I learned about young guys, now that I got a bunch of young guys too, when they get that varsity moment, like they're not giving that ball back. They're hungry. They playing with, I don't have nothing to lose. I'm just playing free spirit. Like, I'm not worrying about nothing. I'm going to get it. Half of those kids you named probably got scholarships probably on their way to high school, right before they got there. So now they're like, man, I'm good. I'm just playing freely. And you can kind of see it.
And whatever I do, I'm a freshman. So whatever I do, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
Shout out to that Bergen defense, though, because that D-line applies the pressure. Those linebackers is on you.
How my guy Mujahid Russell doing? Because I know he's a part of that.
So that's what I'm about to say. Those DBs, they just sit back and clean up. They just clean up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. Like, Phil Farmer, shout out to him. With Del Barton, he was balling. Wildcat, they running him on little drags and different things like that. But by third quarter, Bergen saw enough of that shit.
Yeah, they're like, all right, that was nice. I'm telling you, I feel like this is a game to Bergen.
There's also a young kid at Del Barton.
That way. It's crazy.
DB. There's a young DB at Del Barton. I believe you might have told me about him before. Last name, Bailey. Troy Bailey. Shout out to Troy Bailey from Del Barton. Guys, tune into him, man. Get a look at him. And there's another kid at Del Barton that I'm very high on. I actually called a college to like, yo, you guys need to get on him. And I'm going to tell you guys a weird story. I'm about to pull up the conversation. This is the weirdest story. I guess it's not weird with Del Barton because those, a lot of those kids don't really need football. But so there's a kid, Peter Donini, 6'9", 270, offensive lineman for Del Barton. The kid can bend like nobody's business, right? And I see him, and he's jumping off the screen. I hit up a certain coach. I put him in chat with the position coach and the head coach, and I'm like, y'all need to get on this kid. So position coach responds and is like, we knew about him. He doesn't want to play football. The head coach is like, said who? Give me his number. I need to call him immediately. But it was just the weirdest thing that's a real situation. The kid is really good and doesn't want to play high-level college football, And this kid, man, you got to see him. He looks great. So, like, there was some guys at Del Barton that was very impressive, man. And I just want to make sure that I kind of said some of those guys' names as well because it was all Bergen after that. We had Naheem Parrish with a one-hand catch.
Look.
But do your thing. Do your thing, bro. I had to get them there first because they lost. So I can go ahead and do your thing.
It's just like
Naheem Parrish, absolutely.
Quincy Porter was Quincy Porter.
Right.
Quincy Porter.
The
They called
Calhoun.
Dante Kane and Calhoun.
Calhoun.
Yeah. So did Dante Kane, man.
And then David Matestic?
Yeah, he had a game.
Interception.
Parati opened up the flugger. He was the first one because Porter had the big catch and he made a few people miss and took it for like 90. They called that back. Then Parati came through. I believe it's Anthony Parati. He set it off. But you just started seeing all the guys get involved. Yeah. Brian Porter, you know. But they just kept coming in waves. They just kept coming. Like I seen they took Jordan
Thomas
and put him
wide receiver
as well. You know what I'm saying? Del Barton wasn't really trying to hear none of that either. Like because Del Barton was there for a whole half. Like they came to play football. Like they was hitting, but it's just like that's what I noticed about what Bergen was. It was just okay, you balling. You know how Jay-Z said with platform. You know what I'm saying? But how long can you keep this up? Because we gonna keep coming. Are you gonna still be here?
Right.
And you just see most teams just.
How is Jordan Thomas doing though? I didn't get a chance to see that game.
So again, I wouldn't be able to really tell you how he's doing because there was no really plays that went to him, and you understand. A lot of times when you're really good, you might not get any action. Right? That's the thing about being a corner, right? You know what I'm saying? You can mess around and have no stats because of dude. They just like we not messing around with it. Or maybe you blinking in too tight. So I got to get on to my next read.
Sometimes quarterbacks don't even look that way. They're like,
so that's not an indictment on him. You know what I'm saying? But I also missed this because when I think of Quincy Porter, that's Louis Luggage. Nate Bailey, Louis Luggage too. He done brought that everywhere. You know, I just want to put that. Elijah Burris. Nate Bailey, Quincy Porter,
Louis Luggage,
everywhere, and ain't nobody did nothing about it.
Welcome to the Louis Luggage Club.
There it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, if our sponsorship get up, man, maybe we can get Louis Luggage bags for you guys, the duffels. You know what I'm saying? On your way to college.
Absolutely. So there we go. So I want to just make sure I say some stats. Dominic Campanelli, of course, 15 of 23 for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Steady hand, and that's what he's asked to do. He's asked to just keep it all together. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to win nothing. Don't lose us nothing. Just keep all of the guys together, make the plays when it needs to be made, and that's what he does. You know, he's dependable, you know.
Yeah, and you have that. Then you add Najee Calhoun, like I said, 13 carries for 97 yards, and Dante Kane for 12 carries for 75 yards. And then you add that with the Quincy Porters of 7 receptions for 76 yards and a touchdown. And Anthony Parati, 1 reception for 71 yards and a touchdown.
That was the one. That's all we need. You know?
Naeem Parrish, 2 receptions, 53 yards and a touchdown. So, and there you go. Third quarter Bergen.
And that was the game of the week, right? And it's kind of like, you know, it's always...
They play 4 quarters of football. Let's say that. It's just something happens. I want to make sure I say that.
I want to shout out their coaching staff, too, right? Because that's usually what that boils down to. Like, when a coaching staff goes in, I don't know if they wake their guys up, if it's small adjustments, but that's usually the sign of a well-coached team, the third quarter, you know, because that's when the adjustments is made.
Yeah.
Some guys can adjust, and some guys always adjust.
Yeah. And just for our game purpose, St. Thomas Aquinas versus St. Joe's Mechuchen, that was 34-20, and St. Thomas Aquinas won. We all took that. So moving on to next week.
Let's get it.
All right. So right now we're at Lenny and I are tied at 21, and
I did you a favor.
Whatever. You could have. I gave you a chance to come back and say it, but you didn't.
What I'm at?
You're at 17.
I still can catch up.
You can catch up.
Charge it to your heart, not your mind, bro.
Right. Yeah, you took
Pope with your heart, bro.
Pope over Joe's.
I did?
Yes, you took Del Barton over Bergen.
You made that happen.
Bro, I did not. I said what? And you said yes.
Big Pope.
I was like,
not the little Pope.
Even when you said it, I was like, oh, he coming funny.
Okay, well, little Pope.
Charge it to his heart.
Listen, we'll see who you want to take this week. That's gonna be interesting.
I think she.
I did not. I would never.
Yeah, she tried to.
I would never. What? I didn't even need to. If anything, I gotta sabotage you. You wasn't nowhere near me.
And you did.
No, I didn't. I just said, stay where you was at, and you confirmed it.
I'm gonna get it right this week. Go ahead.
All right, this one I'm gonna start right for you. Just for this, I'm gonna start with you. Let's start with Pope versus St. Peter's Prep. At Prep.
Ooh.
That's tough. I need to know.
That's Friday night?
I don't know if I can look it up.
It's tough. The thing is this.
It's at Prep. I'm assuming.
I need to know if Pope's quarterback is going to be back. If not, I don't know.
It's still a ball game, man.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm going
we
with
gotta
Pope
go.
John, bro.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. That's a tough one. I watched them this week. You gotta coach
That's
that
a
up.
tough one.
Yeah. You gotta coach that up.
Prep at home. I can't even be there, so I gotta go with Pope. If I was gonna be there, if I would have been at the game,
You could soup them up and do the whole thing.
tailgate, I would have.
Your energy would have made them win.
No. I like Pope.
It's gonna be a really good game.
It's gonna be a good game.
I had a great experience at Pope John, so I'm always.
See, that's your heart again. What your mind tell you, that's your heart. Like, you can't be moving with your heart.
I'm going with Pope because
Okay.
I'm going with Pope.
So that's clearly why you took Pope over Joe's too.
Now
So
you
let me
go.
ask you a question. I'll go, but how was I didn't get to watch the game. How was the defense against DePaul?
St. Peter's defense, it was typical.
I mean, no disrespect.
And
Prep don't stop nobody though. They didn't
but
stop.
don't nobody stop DePaul.
They don't stop nobody,
Go ahead.
right? Nobody.
Nobody.
PC 48.
But without a quarterback. So this is just
Yeah,
me
but-
out loud.
but-
I didn't
but
think
did you-
this. None of
what
my
was-
picks this week is premeditated. I literally am coming here and just going off of
What was the score?
vibes.
Well, I go back to Joe's versus Prep. Give me your score.
It was I think before Joe's did the subs, it was something to
Oh, you said
6 or
Joe's?
8.
It was
Cause she would know. I'm saying.
Joe's. I thought
Versus
you
Prep.
said
It was a boat race.
yeah.
All right, that's what I'm saying to you.
No, that's what I think it's gonna be a
so
good
think
game.
about it though. If you watch Talik
I
running
was watching
against
that. Yeah.
Joe's, he was moving. Mm-hmm. He was moving. You know
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but when you take the fact that and Prep, like, they don't got a quarterback.
They don't.
Like, so typically, and don't get me wrong, they tried to throw the ball a couple times. I mean, for your DBs, get your stats
they
up.
do have a quarterback in Tyler Hauser.
They didn't use him. I don't know if they're waiting to use it this week or what, but they did a little, but
We'll see.
so
We're still going with Pope.
I know I'm trying to figure out who I'm going with. That's
Yeah,
what this conversation.
It's tough. To me, it's a toss-up. So, like, I feel comfortable in this space going just with that opposite of whichever one way y'all go, because it's a toss-up.
You really only got to worry about me right now.
I ain't
Sorry,
worried about
guys.
neither one of y'all. Because when I want to turn it on, I know how to do that.
Okay.
I know who really going to do what. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I just do this to make it interesting.
All right, sure. Mm-hmm. No, you
I
took
mean-
PC
I
over
mean,
RBC
hold
on purpose last week.
The record the record the last 3 years don't speak for itself.
I mean, I've been here too, and we've been.
You ain't did nothing with me.
Yes, I did.
You had a problem with me.
We was neck and neck last year. You ended up winning, and I believe it was probably the Bergen Joe's game, which we'll get to, which made you end up winning. But, jeez, this is rough.
I'm gonna lose this week. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna lose this one this week.
I'm gonna go.
You want me to go? While you still figure it out?
I'm gonna go Prep. Prep, you better not do me dirty.
They do have Hunter Watson.
Yeah, they offensively, but they need the defense. You have to stop Tyreek Hill.
Defense.
Like,
They got
and you got to worry about West too.
Yeah, but if nobody able to throw them the ball, then that could be a situation in itself. But just running wise, it ain't just Talik though. They got that young boy running back
I
up
seen
there.
that,
I
too.
bet Pope John getting busy too.
All right, Prep, like put them numbers up. And defense, pay attention to what's going on. Where are you going?
I really, and Nas just kind of, I really want to go Prep. I really do.
Put it down.
I really want to go Prep. But I really feel like I'm not gonna take it out on Prep for what PC do, because PC always let me
Right.
down. I'm going with Prep.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
All right.
I think Nas. This is the one Nas going to
It's possible. I'll be on the
I'm about to
record.
catch up and be at 19.
I'll be on the record saying this one I really don't know. That could go either way. You don't know who's going to show up for either
Polk
team.
way. It's going Sussex County way.
All right. All right, let's go to Bosco PC.
Bosco bull race. Life jackets on.
PC, you're out of here.
Immediately.
Yep, that was easy.
Where's that at?
I don't even know.
I just want to say, hey, don't even get on the bus if you gotta leave. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, I don't even know. Okay, so then we're gonna go to DePaul versus Del Barton.
I'm going DePaul. Too much. Now you get to see.
Now you got to go back.
We
Yeah.
go score for score now. What Bergen did and then what DePaul did.
What you mean?
Remember back in the day, that's how you used to get.
Yeah. But what we got? What we got?
So whatever Bergen's score was, what Del Barton has put it down, and then we'll see what DePaul do.
DePaul gonna score. They're gonna score. The question is if they're gonna stop Del Barton from scoring.
You gotta see.
I told y'all I didn't have. You getting live? Me thinking my brain is like doing this stuff now. I didn't think about. Let me see.
I mean, it don't matter
check that
too,
one.
but
I didn't check.
I gotta. It do kind of matter a little bit.
Ooh. Del Barton.
Do it matter?
Yes.
Here you got this tap on the bar.
At DePaul.
Friday night.
That's
DePaul.
Let's see.
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Can DePaul get their first loss?
Never.
I don't know. I don't think
going
so.
undefeated.
Who did you go? You went DePaul?
DePaul.
Okay. I don't know. Del Barton's different.
DePaul football team look good, dog. They look real.
They
good.
really do look good. But Philip Fulmer, Jaden Prince-Valley.
Too much, man. DePaul.
I'm gonna go DePaul just because they got that's home field advantage.
They're not going out like Willie Lump.
So I personally feel like this is the one game that stands in the way of DePaul's undefeated season, and because of that, I think Del Barton also knows that. I think they're a lot like Bosco. They're in that desperation mode now, where they want one of these signature wins. You know, I'm gonna go Del Barton.
Ooh.
Okay. I think it's absolutely possible. I wanted to say.
I don't think it's nowhere possible.
Del Barton, it was 3-0 up until maybe 2 minutes left into the second half of Bergen.
Yeah, I mean this is DePaul we're talking about.
Yeah. I gotta try to do something different to separate from y'all. I'm just keeping it real. I just gotta
I wish
separate
you would
from y'all.
do that too then.
I just gotta separate from
You
y'all.
You need me to do it too? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
pick Del Barton.
No, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, and when we get to what I think is going to be the game of the week, I really don't know. I have not, again, no premeditated. I'm about to close my eyes and act.
If I'm being honest, I'm also gonna say that I don't want to see the end of the season. DePaul and Bergen are both undefeated, and now we gotta imagine who is really the number one.
Yeah.
They both play Joes and they both play Del Barton.
And what that mean?
We're gonna get it off the score.
You can't do that. You
That's
can't.
what they used to do in college football back in the day, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can do it that way. But
I mean, we could do what we want to do here.
Well,
So for keep it a buck purposes, we could
there's
think
been
about
some
that.
talk about a postseason like kind of game where Zone6ix would host that, and Bergen and DePaul would do it on like almost like a turkey bowl type of same principle. And I think the rules was just both head coaches wouldn't be able to coach the games. Like the coach had to be like their next man up. And it would be a good charity event, you know. And this is what the DePaul people suggested, right? Take the money and donate it to a charity event or whatever.
But Nick Campanelli is the OC.
But he's still the head coach, right?
That's what I'm saying. So it don't work in their favor.
I mean, Vito is the head OC.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's the head coach.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
But it's still so what that does is it still doesn't tell you
another state and
who.
play.
I mean,
It still doesn't tell you who.
It does, and the reison why is because both teams have the same handicap, so all things is even again.
Yeah, but then you don't have your coaches. Your coaches,
They both lose their coaches.
That's true, but without your coaches, you don't know who you are. It's the system. It's
Neither team knows who they are.
Right. So now I got to bring my next man up, and he's not as good as a coach as I am.
He been in the same locker room. Both. So if you're looking at it like that, then it's the same for both teams.
It is the same for
all
both
things are
teams,
even.
but it's still not. You still don't get to see because you still gonna get the people like, oh well, if Vito was coaching,
Well, they can have that.
Oh,
but we got
if
the
Nick
physical.
was, it's not going.
We got the physical aspect.
Yeah, that's
of
what
that.
we want to see.
Yeah, we want to see the ball game, man.
But the coach got to coach.
Moving on.
All right, so moving on to the game of the week. Bergen versus.
Can I ask you a question? Why is this the game of the week? Now?
Well, I was going to ask y'all. What you know,
why wouldn't DePaul and Del
I
Barton
was going to.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make it good.
Is Bergen and Joe's? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's definitely the game of the week.
Over Del Barton and DePaul?
Yes, sir.
What makes
Augie Hoffman, the guy who normally is the kryptonite to Bergen, right?
Mm-hmm. Has been.
Okay.
He's the only.
So now he's back. Mm-hmm. And Vito's still, he's number one right now.
Yeah, he's basically
Vito got strong while he left, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Vito, like, I don't care. You come back.
It's my block
now.
It's
my block, bro.
It's my block now.
You left all the packs with me.
Yeah.
I ran off with that. It's over now. It's mine.
Yeah.
They all work for me now.
Facts.
So I want to see how Augie come back to that. Like, I'm coming home. Yo, get your ass up out the throne.
With Lamar Best not in the picture?
I mean, that other kid is good too.
He is good.
And
then he also went to another level and got some things.
That kid can play football too. Mm-hmm. Like they got a good situation. It's unfortunate that Lamar Best went down. Lamar Best was there. Obviously, like I'm a big fan of Lamar Best, and I don't want to be biased to that point, but I do like the other kid. I saw him come in the game. He got poised. He been doing this. Mm.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going with Bergen.
Me too.
Why y'all had to make that so fast? Tell me why y'all going with Bergen.
I don't believe Joe's. I really don't believe Joe's. And watching Nate run the ball shows that they need him to do more than what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be successful.
Yeah.
If Nate is not out on that field, that team is not that good.
Mm. Honestly,
I'm
okay
disrespect.
with...
Please. Oh, I forgot I'm doing like a show. All those kids can play football. And when I say that, I'm just saying Nate is a huge part to what Joe's do. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. When you gotta,
and I think that's a damn shame, right? Because I watched the Pope John game and I listened to the announcers, and they were saying that Joe's had the number one running back, and I thought that was very disrespectful to Nolan James. I thought that was very disrespectful to Xavier Williams because they have been those guys thus far. Get better Xavier Williams, but like you said, Nate essentially had to go in at running back and save them in as far as the running game, right? When Lamar is there, Lamar covers a lot of that with his legs. And because of that, that's very, very concerning, right? Because we all know Nate is best lining up at the receiver spot. Bergen don't give up a lot of running yards, right? So it's just like, and he's really Joe's real only viable run option. Mm-hmm. And this is why I make this so easy for me to pick Bergen. They're handicapped. Right.
And they gave the other kid a run too. I mean, he was in the backfield too. It wasn't him. It was number 5.
Rich.
Number 5. That's Stalin.
That's Stalin. He got a carry too.
Oh, they kept calling him Monty Kirkland.
Yeah, they was calling it. Yeah.
And him and believe it or not, I'm telling you some real stuff. If they turn Stalin loose, how they turn Nate loose, you're gonna get the same effect.
I see it.
Yeah, I believe
I
that.
see it. Yeah. It definitely.
I used to couldn't tell them apart when they were little kids playing.
I see
both
it.
got the same wiggle.
I see it. Stalin is definitely. You see it in the game. Well, here's me
and Nas try to buy you all the time in the world.
Y'all gave me the time that I needed. I realized what I got to do. And that is, no matter what happening, wherever they put whoever, I got to hedge my bet. And so since I got to hedge my bet, I'm going with Bergen. If I go with Bergen, I either come up.
When your mama don't believe, that's
it is what it is. Listen, Joe's, y'all got to do what y'all got to do.
You got to go out like that?
I'm going to win. I don't care. Whatever they do, whatever they do is what they do. But me, I'm going to win. I have to win this. They gotta go out there and win on the field, and you understand that? Like my fight is with y'all.
So I picked the way I picked because I felt like I just knew what she was about to do. So I'm like, I could afford to give a game up. The ball game I gave up because I thought
not checkers. Understand?
Because I'm like, I'm not worried about you now.
Say whatever you want to say about your mama. My son know me. He been with me all his years of his life. I ain't about losing. So you go out there and do what you want to do, and I'm not going to lose to y'all.
I'm about to do with you like I did with him the other week, right?
Okay.
You're doing this You trying to amp Joe's up to get this.
I don't believe in that. I honestly believe in the power of words, and that's the only thing that was holding me back from picking Bergen, because I do believe in anything that I say is very powerful, and I do want Joe's to win. I want them to go out there and do their thing. This would be the first time that they won all the years that I've been watching, and so of course. But this is a ticket. Right. And my game is with y'all. Okay. So understand this. Joe's go do what you gotta do. Yeah, defense, I need you to show up.
You pull the fast
do what you gotta do. Nate, ball out like you do. Rosinall, do what you do. Right. JoJo, shout out to you. Do what you do. Stalin.
Y'all do have a good.
Issa, everybody.
You just named everything on offense. You just named everything on offense.
Everybody.
That's not gonna be the problem.
I'm getting there. I'm getting. I just said Issa. I was going to Issa.
Defense.
I was going to Issa. Jamir, you gotta go. Jamir and Issa got his. Jamir, that. Let me get that.
He's Louis Luggage.
He's Louis Luggage on the defense.
No, for real.
He said I'm Gucci. He said Gucci.
Give him 2 G's. Yo, I'm gonna tell you this. I was watching him. Like
he hitting this shit.
He don't play. Don't touch me. Like when I watch receivers block corners, cause I got some corners on my team. Like you put the hands on them, they like this, right? He's standing you right up. Get rid. He's not playing with you, and he's gonna make a big hit.
Yeah, he's making big.
And that's what. Well, hopefully the game is at Joe's. I got a message to the refs. Like, listen, make it a clean game. Let them play ball and ref the game, because this is a big one for both teams. Yeah. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They don't like talking about it, but I'm going to say it. We need y'all to keep your eyes open, watch the game, and call a clean game.
This could be on the low, though, not to, like, throw no gasoline on it.
But you about to throw the gasoline on it.
It could be a boat race, though, for Bergen.
Yeah,
like
it could
at
be.
Joe's.
It could be.
Damn.
Listen. Jamir, do what you gotta do. Issa, do what you gotta do. You said I'm a KJ McClain. KJ McClain, go do what you gotta do.
That's one book. You know how you play spades? That's one book.
Okay, I'm just saying. KJ, do what you gotta do. It's okay.
What else?
That's something. Do what you gotta do. Vin,
go ahead.
Vin, go do what you gotta do.
Let's go Issa Salam.
Issa, do what you gotta do. If they come your way, pick
Let's go
City.
KJ McClain.
Listen, this is your time. You just said that. It's your time. This is your time.
The kid at Joe's, number 6, the other corner good.
Oh, Trayvon.
Yeah.
Trayvon, yeah. This is your time.
But not for nothing. Speaking of that,
do that
the
now.
kid who's really solid that doesn't get a lot of credit on Joe's defense is number 8,
Gillette.
John Gillette.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him too.
That's Junior Gillette's nephew, actually.
That's hard, but I just think that Bergen gonna be too much up front. They gonna if they decide to lean on Joe's. Yeah. Joe's could tap real, because the way I saw Talik getting busy on them.
Yeah, the linebacker play has left a lot to be desired, bro. D-line linebacker. I mean, every week it's the same thing for me. You just can't tackle. They just can't tackle. Like today I had Talik dead 10 yards in the backfield. And he turned that into a 10-yard gain. Like, that's disgusting when there's no threat of a pass.
Right.
That's
you
disgusting.
Know what he's about to do.
Yeah, that's like it's seriously like it's just like ill neglect. Like, I don't even know how to, but whatever, man. Picks in.
And I did want to say, Issa did receive his first interception. So big shout out to him on that one.
Absolutely. And, you know, Ja did his thing. So listen, go do it again this week, right? And those who may not, okay, you can do whatever. The whistle while you
Make sure you bring your little, the vest, that snap like this, click, click. You pull out that boot, right? Sharks in the water.
You said we need a life vest? Listen, I'm going to win my game here. Y'all go win your game there.
Okay. And that was it.
So that's it.
And that's that episode.
That's another episode.
Let me just say this real quick. It's Brunette is Breast Cancer Month. Big shout out to all the women out here. All the marches that's going on. I want to send a big shout out to a lady named Aunt D that's at Brick City. She made sure she gave us all these hoodies, and then she got all the kids pink helmets. We got a bunch of kids that's like on that one level that's fighting a fight. So I appreciate you, Aunt D, Saji, and everybody that's all the women, Teresa, that's a part of this movement, and make sure, like, if you look at our 12U, everybody got pink helmets. Like, it's just beautiful, the jerseys. And then I want to send a RIP to my uncle Bill. He was very inspiring in my life. Like, he's been around, he's been a mentor. Sometimes in life you sit back and say, Dad, why do you do some of the things you do? It was the people that my parents put around me that gave me that kind of motivation. He definitely was one of them. And hearing one of the guys get up at his funeral and say, because my uncle was a boxer, and he took like the younger guys in his community to go meet Ali, because he was at Ali boxing camp years ago. Well, obviously, but R.I.P. Uncle Bill, love you, man.
That's another episode of Keep It a Buck.
Peace.